Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to have a look at Zen Bound 2. I don't know if you guys have heard of this one. It's a little bit on the older side, at least as far as I remember, or maybe just the original one was on the older side. I don't know. This is the seminal wrapping things in string simulator as far as I can remember as well, and was gifted to me by a friend of the show, so I'm actually quite happy to play this. It's been on my wish list for quite a while, and I don't know why, but I've always just sort of avoided picking it up, even though it's been like $1 or $2 occasionally on sale. And it's a lovely, soothing game as far as I know. Again, I haven't played it yet, but that's just what I know from reading and seeing about it. Classic gameplay. Alright, classic. Do it. Alright, so here we go. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I've got this bird here with a nail on it. Bird with a nail on it. That's an interesting thing to have happen. Alright, so we can twist this thing around, and I think the goal is to wrap it in such a way that we take advantage of all of its edges and use it to bind this rope for the length of rope that is required at the bottom in the corner there. There's actually that little meter that says 5.9 centimeters out of 50. So we've got a bit of wrapping to go. And we're just clicking and scrolling and twisting and scrolling and clicking. And it has very realistic physics to the rope, actually, which is very cool. And some very nice texture work on this as well. It's a very shiny wooden bird. It looks like part of it is made out of metal or something, but I don't think that's entirely correct. So the string is just unspooling as we go. And there's some lovely ambient music playing in the background. And I'm actually feeling pretty relaxed just by doing this already, and I've only just started. So I'm going to guess that the premise is such that as we get further and further into this, the shapes get harder and harder to wrap stuff around. Minimum goal has been reached. I can go ahead and keep on going. I could be wrapping this thing much faster. I can't really see how I could go wrong. I'm just sort of looking at the tension on the rope and the way that it's all molding together, and it actually seems to be pretty well done. Look at the little deformations in the edges of the rope as it goes. Like over here where you can see it wrapping onto other pieces of rope. I mean, granted it's not compressing it, but we'll say this is like one of those like mesh weaved ropes or something, as it kind of looks like it might be. Tie up the glowing nail to finish. I have. What do I do? Oh, I was supposed to wait. Well, crap. I guess, I don't know, I can't win now? I have to unspool it until I can get to the point where I can tie up the glowing nail again. Alright, let's spin it around this way. And we'll try and tie up the nail a little bit. Yeah, I guess I did it kind of. Alright, well, that was sort of weird. I thought I was doing it just fine, and then it decided I wasn't. Alright, so we've got this lovely bird here now wrapped in rope with a glowing, glowy glow on it. That was fun. Let's see about what kind of other shapes we can get ourselves into as we move up this tree. What do I do? Is that the only shape that's available on this tree? There's another tag up there. I can't quite reach it, though. It's all dark. What if I go back? 1 out of 15 flowers, that's all? Alright, let's just go here. I'll sort this out later. I know that this is not the correct way you're supposed to do it, but I just want to see what happens. So we're supposed to wrap this thing up and do the other nail last. I get it now. Again, first time. Alright, so it's where the rope is touching is what's changing color. I thought it was just the bird was inherently, like, two-tone in texture. And there's a very lovely, like, depth of field texturized image going on in the background, which is kind of nice as well. It seems to be somewhat shifting a little bit. Not sure if that's just what it does over time, or whether I'm doing something. Oh, it's probably when I'm moving this shape around, it seems like it's shifting again. I'm trying to wrap it underneath this arm here, because you can get quite a bit of leverage that way. Looks like it's stuck on the knees, though. That's no problem. I'll just have to use that to my advantage somehow. So I'll wrap it around the head, wrap it under the arm. There we go. Actually, the very subtle way that that background is shifting, I could see that almost giving you a little bit of, like, vertigo or some kind of weird shifting feeling. I don't know if vertigo is the right word exactly, but Can be a little off-putting, I imagine, if you're prone to dizziness. Because it's so subtle, you're almost not even aware of it, but then if you look at it very carefully, it seems to be moving just a little bit. Seems like everything is going to be fine if I just keep on wrapping this thing like this. Like a big old gift. This is a kind of a crappy gift, though. It's like a little wooden guy covered in some weird greenish-blue paint, wrapped up in rope. I don't know why you would give this as a gift. Let's keep scrolling and scrolling. Oh, look at the rope go. This is like the game that all people who sail boats should play, because they love ropes and talking about ropes and making knots and things. Wonder if you're skilled enough you could somehow tie a knot with this. Probably not. Ha! You see what I did there? I didn't even mean to do that. That wasn't even funny. Alright, so we're approaching the end of this rope. Oh yeah, and then there's a little swirly bit around the rope there, so we can tell that that's the very end. So I need to now somehow wrap this thing around the other nail. Oh, it's unspooling like a fruit roll-up. Don't do that. Okay, very carefully need to turn this thing around. It's interesting how that paint effect shows up on the wooden structure like that. Alright, turn it, and then I gotta wrap it around the nail, and then everything's gonna be just fine. Fall off. There we go. That's what I'm supposed to do, right? Wrap it. How many times do we have to wrap it? Isn't this enough? I thought I won. I'm clearly not doing this right. I mean, I'm looking at the percentage down at the bottom, too, and it says, like... Oh, wow, I'm retarded. I'm supposed to be using the rope to wrap as much coverage on this object as I possibly can. And I haven't even reached the minimum goal here, so I'm probably going to need to restart this one. I'm sorry, I'm a big dummy. I don't play these games correctly ever. I don't think there's anything I can do to really rescue that, so let's try this again. Alright, now the premise is becoming much more clear. We have a certain amount of rope with which we need to cover this structure to paint it with as much surface area as possible, so that means we have to wrap this thing in as many different ways as we can to maximize the amount of rope touching the piece of wood. Now that that is clear and out of the way, we can resume painting this structure properly. See, I thought it was just for show, like just to be visually interesting and arresting, or whatever word they use in that case. And although it was accomplishing that, I was failing to see the point, and now the point is quite obvious. You guys must be so sick of me playing games wrong. Like, every time you watch one of my videos, I'm like, hey, look, this is how you play this game, only I have no idea what I'm doing, because it's my first time playing it. And then in the comments, you're all like, man, this guy sucks at video games, and then I post it on Reddit, and you're like, thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs down. I don't blame you, I understand. Just bear with me, would ya? I'm trying. Looking through all these crazy games, you know, I played so many games, like, I bring all these preconceptions to the table, and a lot of the times, I get them wrong. That's the problem when you play so many games, like, you stop seeing the instructions in front of your eyes, and you just start imagining instructions as you would think they should be. Which is just the most wrong way you could possibly play things. Alright, so here's the thing now. We've got 46 centimeters of rope on this statue. We're just about to hit 85 on the percentage. Right there, medium goal reached. I don't even know how I accomplished the first level without noticing that that's what was going on. But again, I apologize for that. So, now we can tie up the rope to finish, and I think all I really need to do is touch the rope. Not cut the rope, not burn the rope, just touch the rope. I was going to go somewhere with that, and then I forgot where I was going with it. I'll probably come up with that again later. Alright, so we can see these structures fairly apparently on this tree. I don't know if there's any cool-looking ones in particular here. I like this one. Let's see what this is about. Oh yeah, so there are all the different human yoga forms, I suppose. Some of them look more difficult to wrap than others. And we only have 50 centimeters to deal with on this one. So we've got to make the best of it, right? Oh, and the colors are a little different for each one, which is kind of nice. Although, the blue-green was a lot easier to see on the statues, I have to admit. So you want to take your time and carefully wrap. And I can definitely see where this game gets off putting Zen in its title. I can see how this could be very hypnotic, very therapeutic, in fact. And then you'll reach these points where you actually don't know how to proceed, because there doesn't really make a lot of sense physically how you would wrap a structure like that with rope. No, that works. Alright. And then you gotta use the rope for leverage off itself. Teaches you to think in a kind of a different way. I mean, this is the kind of puzzle game I can really get into, because although I found a way to before, you can't really play this wrong. It's just about adapting to each scenario that you're given in the way that you can figure out to do. So now I have this taut rope stretching across here. I'm not going to be able to easily spin back around, am I? Although I can try. No, I've created a lattice or a cage around the thing. I'm not going to be able to wrap it properly. I'm actually kind of really into this, and the music is really lovely as well. I would really like to hear that on its own. In fact, it's one of those sort of down-tempo, relaxing style soundtracks that I could easily have on in the background while I'm working on Photoshop stuff or whatever. I often listen to much heavier music than this, but I do appreciate hypnotic stuff like this as well. Oh, okay, we're at the end now. Now, if I have nothing left, can I still tie the rope? I can. I achieved Gordian. I've achieved something. So the premise of collecting flowers seems pretty interesting. Let's go back to the main menu again. I want to see if I can get to something very hard just to see what that looks like. Got a crazy ray gun. Okay, so these seem themed, I suppose. I guess that's the only one I can get to. Protection. Oh, that's interesting. And they put the nail where the trigger is. I like this organic style approach to this gameplay. It's all very, like, homespun. The fact that everything's made out of wood, it seems like there's almost carpentry involved. I know it's digital carpentry, but still, they made an effort. We're emulating an analog life process in this completely digital artistic game, and I like that. Seems very Japanese in a way, and I quite like Japanese aesthetics a lot of the time. I mean, I'm not into all the like postmodernist stuff as much, but the way the approach and the emphasis seems to be on simplicity and beauty. I don't know what I just did. I exploded a bubble of paint. I guess that's to make my life a little easier. I seem to be doing a little better at this one than some of the ones in the past. I'm trying to go a little bit more slowly and carefully than I was. I like that bubble thing, whatever that was about. I'd like to see that happen some more. So I've got plenty more to go. See, I'm going to reach an interesting point here because I'm going to run out of surface area, but I'm going to have to also wrap back around to touch that trigger or nail, depending on how you look at it. So then you got to carefully balance it so the rope lands on that. Nope. See, it might now wrap the nail, which is not what I intended. It should give you the option of saying, no, I didn't mean to do that, in case you like blow a really good run right at the last moment by wrapping it. What's going on by that nail there? There's like the rope got extra thin and twisted weird. There we go. 97%, that's quite good. At least in contrast to the previous percentages I've been getting. See, now how would I leverage this to turn it back around this way? I'm not sure if I can do that easily. 98. Oh, see if I could get this bubble to blow right on top of that. That might be perfect. Yeah, we got it. Now, I've just screwed myself because I've created a situation where I can't wrap the final nail. I don't think there's anything I can do to get a rope through there unless I could, like, literally rip the end of the rope off and now thread it back through. Alright, so that's going to be a problem. So we're going to have to go back. Darn, I was doing so good, too. And then we're going to lose the 100%, despite all good intentions. So I've got to somehow wrap this in a way that does not kill my chances of getting to that nail. This might be a way. Maybe. No. Darn. Oh, I got 99%. I wonder if I can just wrap this one more time around and just hit the nail on this pass. I think I can. Oh yeah, I was talking about like Japanese aesthetics and postmodernism. Yeah, I like that. I think that fits this, and there's not enough games that go for that organic approach. That game Muramasa I found really interesting. I don't know if you guys know that one, but it came out on the Wii originally, and I think it got ported, or is, I don't know, my head is now cloudy, but yeah, it definitely came out on Wii, and I definitely played it on Wii. I think they're making it for Vita, that's why. And it had a really beautiful art style, like mostly all hand-drawn, high-resolution sprites. That was Vanillaware, right? Those are the guys that did Odin Sphere? I'm trying to remember. My head, again, is rather cloudy on developers when I don't do my double-checking research before I start to say stuff, which I usually try and do that most of the time, unless it's stuff I just inherently memorized, which happens as well. But yeah, that game had amazing art, although the gameplay was a little bit average for me. It was kind of just like hack and slash, a little bit mindlessly repetitive, but it had some strengths as well. But yeah, the aesthetic was really nice, and I liked all of the hand-drawn, you know, sumi brush stuff, and what is it, Imaki Mono? I'm losing the terminology, but there's a Japanese term for like hand-drawn scrolls, and I think they really went for that a lot in the game. You know, sometimes simplicity in graphics does a lot, and this game is really going for simplicity in a really nice way. It's different grains of wood even. They went so far as to emulate different densities, it looks like. I mean, you get this whole textural vibe from each one of these objects that feels a little different than the ones before it. At least that's what I'm getting. I don't know if you're getting that. Alright, I think I'm getting the hang of this game now, and I think I was totally playing it wrong at first, and I think I've admitted that already. But things are coming around. I'm not sure I'm going to get to 99% on this, so we're just going to tie that up. I got, what, 2 out of 3 flowers on that. I'm happy with that solution. So we got a hummingbird, we got, what is this thing? RC car or something? Yeah, let's see what this is about. Roamer. Oh, it's like a little moon rover. Interesting. Alright, so let's wrap this up then. See, this wood looks a little bit old and like the paint cracked off. Like it's sitting in the attic for a couple, like 10, 15 years. Or maybe like 50. You ever do that? You go back in your attic, you find like these old toys from your childhood and they are all moldy and nasty. Something artistic about that statement by itself. The impermanence of life, man. It's a little bit deeper than maybe I was willing to get into, but you know, these simple games, they bring that kind of stuff out. Make you want to rant about art and stuff. Well, makes me anyway. Man, I keep qualifying everything. I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say. So I gotta wrap, somehow I gotta wrap the top of this satellite dish. Should be kind of interesting. I think I can do it. There we go. So again, I gotta remember where that final nail is and make sure I don't alienate it so I can get back to it later. So you can create these little bridges for yourself by using the rope to balance off of stuff, but at the same time, you gotta really be careful where you put them, because you can cut a lot of space out of your ability to tie stuff on, like I just did there, see? Minimum goal reached. I don't think this one's looking good, but I will finish it off anyway. See, the rope has to actually be taut up against the surface for it to count. And I'm not doing a lot of that. If you'll notice, most of the rope has been in very strange angles. See, I would like to get this chair thing, but I think I'm going to end up wrapping the final nail anyway. See, I originally thought the nail was just there as like a second guide point that you could use as something to lean on to post more rope around. I think we're... Oh, I can get to 85 for sure, right? How do I do that, though? Oh, up there will do it. Now, how do I tie the last nail? I guess I gotta wrap it under there. Turn it around. And I love how simple the controls are. I'm doing this only with the mouse and left click. That's all I'm using at all. Now, I've used 3D programs before, manipulated 3D objects quite a bit. And they're usually not terribly difficult to figure out, but sometimes, you know, they're easier to manipulate than other times. And I don't have a problem with this control mechanism. I'm used to the the method where you use left and right click to, you hold both of those down and then you zoom in and out. But there's no zooming necessary in this, so, you know, I really don't even need to go there. It might be nice if... Oh, yeah, you can. You can actually use right-click to, I guess, just rotate strictly. Or you can use combinations. Oh, okay, so you can hit each axis if you hold down left and right, right, or left. So that's actually what I was kind of getting at before, but I didn't actually try it, so now I know. Now we know. So this game is usually only a few bucks. It was on sale for like $1.99 or something like that. It was very cheap. And I can see for how much you can get out of it in terms of gameplay value and how accessible this is. I imagine, like, if you have, you know, if your parents see, you know, see your computer, see you playing this, they might want to try this out, or if you have roommates, brother or sister. I can imagine this is the type of game that your whole family would see and be like, hey, I can do that. That looks like fun. It's a kind of a quick time waster, and, you know, for just a couple bucks, I can't imagine you could do too much better. It seems like there's quite a bit to do in it. Yeah, see, I totally alienated this huge gap in the center here, and now there's some rope going around the back part of it, so I don't think I'm going to be able to easily reach it. I'll try, but I think what's going to happen, I'm just going to wrap it over the top of this, and yeah, it's just going to create a net. Oh, wait, actually might be able to use that bubble in a good way. Or maybe not, I don't know. Also notice the subtle shadows and the lighting effects on the wood as things turn. We've got shaders, we've got dynamic lights. You know, they didn't really spare expense when it came to the tech involved in this, which is really interesting considering how simplistic the premise is. So I quite like that fusion between the two concepts. You know, taking something technically proficient and using it to emulate a very organic, very non-electronic method. I like it quite a bit. So let's go back out to the menu one more time. I think we're just going to be about done. Tree of Challenge, and then I can unlock... In 7 more flowers, I can get to all these trees, and then we've got a whole host of new puzzles. I didn't even hardly get to the original tree. Let's do one more, I guess. What is this? We've got... Looks like a little cement step stool covered in push pins. So I suppose... Yeah, so if I wrap around those push pins, I'm going to grab the paint bonus from each one of those. Which works pretty nicely. I like that concept. It's a little bit of a twist. This was the kind of game where I wasn't really expecting any twists. I figured it was going to be strictly that same puzzle format all the way through. Oh, see, that's not what I meant to do. I like the paint splatter effect, too. Reminds me of D-Blob, or Day-Blob. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce anything. Have you noticed that? You need to go back to school for English. I usually pride myself on having a reasonably decent vocabulary, but like at the same time, there's so many variations of words in different language confluences. I don't think that's the right way to use that word, but you know what I'm trying to say. Convergences. They create all these emergent words that are not part of the actual language. Alright, there we go. 87%. Now I'll wrap it across these two. 96. Can I hit the final goal here? Maybe. Oh, okay, wait. Go that way. Yeah, I gotta become more proficient at using the other mouse button. And I actually got to the maximum goal. Whoa, whoa, I didn't mean to do that at all. Crap. Now I might have screwed myself. Or not. I'm not sure yet. Now that's not any way to wrap anything. Get behind it. Okay, okay, okay. Now come back around. Gently now. I have no idea how I'm going to get this thing on that final nail. I can't... Okay, I gotta keep this taut. Go back around, just to make sure, and I got enough rope here to do this. And then we should be able to do it... Oh, come on, seriously? That's the last twist I needed, was to get to this. And it won't let me do it. I gotta go back. Alright, how can I get it on... How can I get it on that nail? Like this. I don't know, I'm gonna have to like zigzag it somehow. I thought I had enough rope to go all the way both times. I don't think I do though. Unless I could somehow wrap it more efficiently around. See, it's too tight now. Ah, that's frustrating. Alright, well, that's the eternal torment of Zen Bound 2. It's not exactly torment, and it's not exactly eternal, but it is slightly frustrating. And that's all I can say about that. So I think we went through pretty well in detail of what Zen Bound 2 has to offer, and I have absolutely no problem recommending this to you guys to check out. I'll put the links in the description as I always do, so feel free to stop by those. There may just be the one Steam link actually, but you get the idea. So yeah, give it a try. I think you'll get into this. This is a pretty cool game. I really do enjoy the simplicity, the elegance of such a great premise. Wrapping rope around stuff. Who'd have thought, right? So, despite my 100% completion there, I do not have 100% completion because I cannot reach that nail. But that's going to do it for today's episode. You guys can do better than this, I know it. But give it a try. So, as always, I'll do the very short, abridged version of the plugs at the end. Go to www.indie-impressions.com, check out all the old and the new videos, then head on over to facebook.com/indieimpressions. Leave a like if you'd like to, I appreciate it, and that will make sure that all my videos get shot right over to your Facebook feed. Then I will come to you instead of you coming to me. It's nice and simple. And if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or you just want to say, hey, what's going on, man? I watch your videos and I think you're cool. I'd appreciate that. Do that at RockLeeSmile on Twitter. And if you'd like to recommend a game, or if you're an indie developer and you'd like for me to check out your game and you want to send me over a review copy, you can either send me a message over on Twitter, or if you want to PM me via YouTube, there's a contact form on the website. Seems like everybody's finding me lately. It's really cool, actually. I've been getting a lot of emails from developers, and I'm really thankful for that. So please keep that coming. The backlog is rather mighty, I have to warn you, but I'm working my best at getting at least a few a week from developer requests. And if you sent me a mail a while ago and I still haven't done your game, my apologies. I'm still probably going to. I'm just sort of mixing them up, you know what I mean. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you come back again tomorrow. I'll have another video for you as I always do. And have a lovely night. Later.